Chapter 1. Early Life of Bach. Johann Sebastian Bach, a name that echoes through the corridors of musical history, was born in 1685 in Eisenach, a town in Germany. His birth into the Bach family, already famous for their musical talent, seemed to predestine him for a life filled with melody and harmony. Imagine a young boy growing up in a house filled with music, where melodies floated in the air and instruments were as common as household utensils. This was Bach's world, a world where music was not just a profession, but a way of life. His father, Johann Ambrosius Bach, was the town musician, a respected figure who played multiple instruments and was known for his skill and passion for music. This passion for music ran in the family blood. Not just his father, but his uncles and brothers were also musicians, each contributing to the rich musical environment that shaped Bach's early life. Tragically, Bach's mother died when he was just 9 years old, and barely a year later he lost his father too. Orphaned, young Bach moved in with his older brother, Johann Christoph Bach, who lived in Ohrdruf. Johann Christoph was not just a brother but a mentor to Bach. He introduced him to the organ and clavichord and taught him the basics of music. In the small, cramped room they shared, Johann Christoph would show Bach the complexities of chords and melodies, turning the walls of their home into a sanctuary of learning and creativity. It was here that Bach's talent began to blossom, nurtured by familial guidance and his own insatiable thirst for musical knowledge. Despite the sorrows and challenges of his early years, Bach's determination and love for music never wavered. He was a child prodigy, mastering the organ and clavichord, and impressing everyone with his natural ability to understand and create music. His education was not just limited to music. Bach attended the local school in Ohrdruf, where he received a general education, which helped shape his intellect and character. Music, however, remained his true calling. Stories of his early talent spread across the town, and it wasn't long before he was recognized as a musical genius in the making. It's important to remember that Bach's early life was not just about developing his musical skills. It was also about overcoming personal loss, adapting to new environments, and learning from every experience. His journey from a child in a musical household to a young prodigy showcases the resilience and determination that would later define his career and legacy. Imagine the young Bach, sitting at the clavichord, fingers dancing over the keys, eyes closed, lost in a world of sound and harmony. This image captures the essence of his early years, a time of growth, learning, and the beginning of a journey that would lead him to become one of the greatest composers the world has ever known. His story is not just about music. It's about the power of resilience, the beauty of art, and the unending pursuit of excellence. Johann Sebastian Bach's journey into the world of music was not just a path chosen, but a destiny embraced. From a very young age, Bach showed an incredible aptitude for music, a flame of talent that was fanned by his family's musical background. Living with his older brother, Johann Christoph Bach, after the death of his parents, young Bach found himself in an environment ripe for musical cultivation. Johann Christoph, an accomplished musician himself, recognized the spark of genius in his younger brother and took on the role of his first teacher. Imagine the young Bach, wide-eyed and eager, absorbing every lesson, every note, every piece of advice his brother offered. Johann Christoph not only taught him how to play the clavichord, an instrument similar to the piano, but also introduced him to the complex world of music theory and composition. The world of music in the late 17th century was vibrant and evolving. In Ohrdruf, where Bach spent these formative years, he had the opportunity to be exposed to a wide variety of musical styles and traditions. Johann Christoph had a collection of contemporary music which became a treasure trove for the young Bach. He would spend hours exploring these works, playing them, studying them, and learning from them. This self-driven exploration was a crucial part of his musical education. It was not just about learning to play an instrument, but about understanding the language of music at its core. Bach's talent was so remarkable that he often outshone his peers. Stories are told of how he copied an entire book of his brother's music by moonlight, a testament to his dedication and love for music. His brother, realizing the extent of Bach's talent, introduced him to more advanced music, including works by renowned composers of the time. This exposure broadened Bach's musical horizons, sowing the seeds of inspiration that would bloom throughout his career. Bach's education was not limited to private lessons with his brother. He also attended the local school in Ohrdruf, where he received a well-rounded education. This included singing in the school choir, which gave him valuable experience in vocal music and choir management, skills that would later become integral to his career. The discipline and rigor of choir singing, combined with his instrumental training, provided a comprehensive musical foundation. What's particularly striking about Bach's early music education is how it was a blend of formal instruction, self-guided exploration, and practical experience. He didn't just learn how to play an instrument, he learned how to interpret and feel music, giving him a deep understanding and appreciation of the art. This early education laid the groundwork for his future innovations and masterpieces. As we look back at Bach's early music education, we see not just a young boy learning notes and chords, but a future maestro honing his craft. His early years were a symphony of learning, practice, and discovery, playing a pivotal role in shaping the composer he would become. This chapter of his life story is a stirring testament to the power of passion, perseverance, and education in unlocking the greatness that lies within. Chapter 2. Bach's Musical Beginnings. In the unfolding story of Johann Sebastian Bach, a pivotal chapter begins with his first foray into the world of composition. After honing his skills under the watchful eye of his brother, Johann Christoph, young Bach was ready to embark on a journey of creative exploration. Picture a young mind, brimming with ideas and fueled by a profound understanding of music, eager to make his mark in the world of Baroque music. Bach's first compositions were not just exercises in music, they were bold statements of a young artist finding his voice. These early works, crafted in his teenage years, were a blend of the styles and techniques he had absorbed from his studies and the rich musical environment he grew up in. Imagine the excitement and apprehension as he put pen to paper, translating the melodies and harmonies in his mind into tangible pieces of music. One of Bach's earliest known works is a set of organ pieces, which he composed as a young musician. These pieces showcased not just his mastery of the instrument, but also his innovative approach to composition. In these early works, one can already see the seeds of the style that would later define his mature compositions, a complex interweaving of melodies, a deep understanding of musical structure, and a unique blend of the traditional and the contemporary. The creation of these early compositions was not just an artistic endeavor for Bach, it was also a means of establishing himself in the world of professional musicians. In a time when the role of a musician was often tied to churches or courts, composing offered Bach a way to showcase his talent and secure positions that would provide him with financial stability and artistic freedom. Bach's journey as a composer was also a journey of personal growth and artistic development. Each composition was a step in his evolution as an artist. Through composing, he not only honed his technical skills, but also developed his unique voice. The process of creating music, from conceptualizing a piece to its final completion, was for Bach a deeply personal and fulfilling experience. These early compositions of Bach are not just remarkable for their musical genius, they are also testaments to his relentless dedication and passion for music. They represent the beginning of a lifelong journey of musical exploration and innovation. In these pieces, one can hear the echoes of a young Bach, full of ambition and promise, laying the foundation for what would become a monumental legacy in the history of music. As we reflect on Bach's first compositions, we are not just looking at the early works of a budding musician. We are witnessing the emergence of a maestro whose music would go on to captivate and inspire generations. This chapter in Bach's life story is a vivid illustration of the power of talent, hard work, and the unyielding pursuit of artistic excellence. The early career of Johann Sebastian Bach, a tale of ambition and resilience, unfolds as he steps out of the shadow of his family into the wider world of music. After his initial compositions, Bach was ready to embark on his professional journey, a path filled with challenges and triumphs. Envision a young Bach, not just a composer, but a musician eager to make his mark, carrying within him a burning passion for music and a determination to succeed. Bach's first major career step was his appointment as a violinist in the court of Duke Johann Ernst in Weimar. This position was more than just a job. It was a gateway to the world of court music, where Bach could rub shoulders with established musicians and nobility. Imagine the vibrant court environment, bustling with artistic activity, and young Bach, with his violin, right in the heart of it all. This experience was invaluable, providing him with insights into the workings of court music and the opportunity to broaden his musical horizons. But Bach's ambitions stretched beyond just being a court musician. His next career move took him to Arnstadt, where he became the organist at the new church. This role was a significant step up, putting him in charge of musical activities in the church. It was here, in the quiet town of Arnstadt, that Bach began to truly explore the depths of his musical creativity. The position allowed him the freedom to experiment and develop his skills as both an organist and a composer. He was not just playing music, he was shaping it, turning each service into a showcase of his growing mastery over the organ. Bach's time in Arnstadt, however, was not without its challenges. His bold and innovative style sometimes clashed with the more traditional expectations of the church authorities. Stories tell of Bach's musical adventures, such as his extended leave to visit the great organist Buxtehude, which went beyond the granted period, causing some discontent. Yet these experiences, both the triumphs and the trials, were crucial in shaping Bach's character and artistry. Bach's early career was a journey of discovery, both personal and musical. Each step, each position he held, was a building block in his development as a musician and composer. In Weimar, Arnstadt, and later in Mühlhausen, Bach not only honed his skills, but also built a reputation as a brilliant organist and an innovative composer. His career in these early years was a testament to his versatility and adaptability, qualities that would define his entire career. Reflecting on Bach's early career steps, we see not just the growth of a musician, but the emergence of a legend. These were the years that set the stage for his later achievements, years in which he laid the foundation for a legacy that would endure for centuries. Bach's journey from a court violinist to a renowned organist and composer is a narrative of relentless pursuit of excellence, a story that inspires and captivates even today. Chapter 3. Bach's family life. Johann Sebastian Bach's life was not just a journey through the realms of music, but also a tale of love, family, and legacy. In 1707, Bach, young and at the threshold of his musical career, found love with Maria Barbara Bach, a distant cousin. Their marriage marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one filled with personal joy and professional growth. Imagine the young couple, united not just in marriage but also in their love for music, starting their life together in the small town of Mühlhausen. Maria Barbara was more than just Bach's wife. She was his partner, supporter, and the mother of his children. Their home became a nurturing ground for both family and music. Together, they had 7 children, though sadly, not all of them survived to adulthood. Bach's family life was a mix of joy and sorrow, a reflection of the times when mortality rates were high, especially among children. Bach's role as a father was intertwined with his musical career. He was not just a provider, but also a teacher and mentor to his children. His home was a lively place, filled with the sounds of music and the laughter of children. Bach, amidst his busy schedule as a composer and musician, found time to teach his children music, passing on his passion and skills to the next generation. The children of Johann Sebastian and Maria Barbara Bach were introduced to music at a very young age. Some of his children, like Wilhelm Friedemann and Carl Philipp Emanuel, went on to become accomplished musicians themselves, carrying forward the Bach legacy. This familial bond through music created a unique environment in their home, one where music was a language spoken by all. Tragically, in 1720, while Bach was away with his employer, Prince Leopold, Maria Barbara passed away unexpectedly. Bach returned to a home engulfed in grief, a devastating blow to his personal life. This loss marked a significant turning point for Bach, both as a man and as a musician. Despite the challenges and sorrows, Bach's family life played a crucial role in his development as a composer and musician. His experiences as a husband and father influenced his music, often reflecting the emotions and stories of his personal life. The love, joy, and even the tragedies he experienced with his family found echoes in his compositions, adding depth and emotion to his works. The story of Bach's marriage and children is a poignant reminder of the man behind the music. It shows us a side of Bach that is often overshadowed by his musical genius, a loving husband, a caring father, and a man who found in his family both inspiration and solace. This chapter of his life is not just about the birth of his children or the joys of family life. It's about the intertwining of his personal and professional worlds, a harmony of life and music that is as beautiful as it is heartrending. Johann Sebastian Bach's family life was a symphony of relationships and musical influences that shaped not only his personal world, but also his artistic legacy. In Bach's household, music was more than just a profession. It was a way of life, a shared language that bonded the family together. This part of Bach's story is a fascinating insight into how his family played a pivotal role in influencing and inspiring his musical journey. The Bach household was bustling with musical activity. With his first wife, Maria Barbara, and later with his second wife, Anna Magdalena, Bach created a home environment that was steeped in music. Anna Magdalena, a talented singer and musician, was not just Bach's partner in life, but also in music. She often helped transcribe his music and is thought to have contributed to some of his compositions. Imagine the couple working together on music, a partnership that blended family and art in a beautiful harmony. Bach's children, born into this rich musical environment, naturally gravitated towards music from a young age. They were his first students, and he was a dedicated teacher. He composed pieces specifically for them to practice and learn from. These pieces, like the Klavierbüchlein für Wilhelm Friedemann Bach, were not just teaching tools, but also valuable works of art. They reflected Bach's approach to music education, which was rigorous, creative, and deeply grounded in the understanding of musical theory and practice. The influence of Bach's family on his music was reciprocal. Just as they inspired him, he nurtured their talents, guiding them in their musical pursuits. His sons, Wilhelm Friedemann and Carl Philipp Emanuel, became accomplished musicians, and their own compositions bear the imprint of their father's influence. They were part of a musical lineage, a continuation of the Bach family's musical heritage. Bach's family life was not without its challenges, but these too played a role in shaping his music. The emotions and experiences of his family life, including the joys and the sorrows, found expression in his compositions. His music was a reflection of his life, a canvas on which he painted the highs and lows of his personal journey. The influence of Bach's family is also evident in the way his music evolved over time. As he taught his children and collaborated with his wife, his style and compositions grew more diverse and complex. The family's musical interactions were a source of inspiration and innovation, pushing Bach to explore new territories in his music. Reflecting on the family's musical influence on Bach, it becomes clear that his home was more than just a dwelling place. It was a breeding ground for musical genius. The relationships within the Bach family, steeped in a shared love for music, created a unique ecosystem that nurtured and perpetuated musical excellence. This chapter in Bach's life story is not just about a family that played music together. It's about a family that lived and breathed music, influencing one of the greatest composers in history and leaving a lasting imprint on the world of classical music. Chapter 4. Weimar Years. Johann Sebastian Bach's time in Weimar, a period marked by growth and creativity, began in 1708 and lasted until 1717. This chapter of his life is a fascinating tale of artistic development and professional achievement. In Weimar, Bach took on the role of court organist and later concertmaster at the ducal court. Imagine the bustling court of Duke Wilhelm Ernst, a hub of artistic activity and cultural sophistication, and Bach, right in the center of it all, honing his skills and expanding his musical horizons. In Weimar, Bach found an environment that was conducive to his growth as a musician and composer. He was tasked with a range of responsibilities, from playing the organ to composing new works and directing the court orchestra. This variety of tasks not only challenged him, but also offered him the opportunity to explore different aspects of music. Weimar was a turning point in Bach's career, a place where he transformed from a talented musician into a master composer. Bach's work in Weimar was marked by significant musical output. He composed many of his famous organ works during this time, including the well-known toccata and fugue in D minor. These compositions were not just pieces of music. They were expressions of Bach's growing mastery over the instrument and his innovative approach to composition. His music from the Weimar period is characterized by its complexity, its rich textures, and its emotional depth. The Weimar years were also a time of personal growth for Bach. He was in his 20s, a young man full of ambition and creative energy. In the court, he interacted with other musicians and artists, engaging in a cultural exchange that enriched his own work. The court setting provided him with a stable income and a platform to showcase his talents to an audience of music aficionados and nobility. However, Bach's time in Weimar was not without its challenges. As he grew in stature and confidence, he sometimes found himself at odds with the court authorities. His bold musical ideas and his desire for creative freedom occasionally clashed with the expectations of his employers. These tensions, though difficult, also played a role in shaping Bach's character and his approach to music. Reflecting on Bach's Weimar years, we see a period of intense musical activity and significant professional development. It was here that Bach solidified his reputation as a master organist and innovative composer. The experiences and opportunities he encountered in Weimar were instrumental in shaping his future works and his overall career trajectory. Bach's journey in Weimar is a story of a young musician coming into his own, pushing boundaries and laying the groundwork for a legacy that would influence generations to come. It is a testament to his relentless pursuit of musical excellence and his unwavering dedication to his art. The Weimar years, thus, stand as a pivotal and transformative phase in the life and career of Johann Sebastian Bach. During Johann Sebastian Bach's Weimar years, a period from 1708 to 1717, his creative prowess was in full bloom, leading to the composition of some of his most significant works. This era in Bach's life was like a grand symphony of creativity, with each composition a masterful movement in its own right. In the heart of Weimar's court, Bach, now a seasoned composer, was crafting pieces that would echo through the annals of music history. One of the most iconic pieces from this period is the Toccata and Fugue in D minor, a work that showcases Bach's unparalleled skill on the organ. Imagine the grandeur of this piece filling the halls of the ducal court, its dramatic and powerful melodies captivating all who heard it. This composition, with its bold and innovative style, was a testament to Bach's mastery and a hint at the revolutionary impact he would have on the world of music. Another significant work from the Weimar period is the Little Organ Book, a collection of organ chorale preludes. These pieces, designed as teaching tools for organists, were also profound expressions of Bach's deep religious faith and his genius in musical composition. Each prelude in the collection is a gem, showcasing Bach's ability to transform traditional chorale melodies into intricate and expressive organ works. Bach's Weimar years were also marked by the composition of many of his other organ works, including the Prelude and Fugue in E minor, known as the Cathedral Prelude and Fugue. This piece, with its majestic and complex structure, reflects the architectural grandeur of a cathedral, a musical edifice built from Bach's imagination and technical prowess. These years were not just about organ music. Bach also composed cantatas during his time in Weimar, which were performed as part of the religious services at the court chapel. These cantatas, such as Ich hatte viel Bekümmernis, I had much grief, are rich tapestries of vocal and instrumental music, weaving together biblical texts and Bach's musical interpretation to create deeply moving religious experiences. The compositions from Bach's Weimar period are characterized by their technical complexity, their emotional depth, and their innovative use of musical forms and structures. In these works, one can hear the maturation of Bach's style, a blend of the traditional and the modern, the sacred and the secular. Reflecting on the key compositions from Bach's Weimar years, we witness the emergence of a musical giant. These works are not just pieces of music, they are milestones in Bach's artistic journey, each one a step towards his eventual status as one of the greatest composers of all time. The Weimar years, with their prolific output and creative exploration, were instrumental in shaping Bach's future compositions and cementing his legacy in the world of classical music. This chapter of his life is a vivid illustration of his extraordinary talent and his relentless pursuit of musical excellence. Chapter 5. Cöthen Period. In 1717, Johann Sebastian Bach began a new chapter in his life, moving to Cöthen to serve Prince Leopold of Anhalt-Cöthen. This period, known as the Cöthen years, was a time of significant change and creative freedom for Bach. Imagine the vibrant court of Prince Leopold, a young and musically passionate ruler, and Bach, an established composer, entering this new world with fresh ambitions and opportunities. In Kürten, Bach was appointed as Kapellmeister, the musical director, a position of high esteem and responsibility. This role marked a major shift in his career. Unlike his previous positions in Kürten, Bach was not primarily engaged in church music. Instead, his primary role was to compose and perform secular music for the court. This change provided Bach with a unique opportunity to explore different musical styles and forms, expanding his creative boundaries. Prince Leopold, himself an accomplished musician, greatly admired Bach's work and provided him with the resources and support he needed. The prince's interest in modern instrumental music aligned perfectly with Bach's own musical inclinations. Imagine the two, prince and composer, discussing music, sharing ideas, and collaborating in creating a vibrant musical atmosphere at the court. During his time in Kürten, Bach had access to a small but skilled group of musicians. Working closely with these musicians, he composed a variety of instrumental works, including orchestral suites, sonatas, and concertos. This close collaboration with the musicians allowed Bach to tailor his compositions to their specific skills and talents, resulting in music that was both challenging and satisfying to play. One of the most significant aspects of Bach's role in Kürten was the freedom he enjoyed. Free from the constraints of church music, Bach was able to experiment and innovate, creating music that was both personal and expressive. This freedom is reflected in the style and character of the music he composed during this period. The works from the Kürten period are marked by their clarity, precision, and joyfulness, a reflection of the happy and productive time Bach spent there. Bach's time in Kürten was not just a period of professional growth, but also of personal development. The supportive environment and the creative freedom he enjoyed allowed him to mature as a composer and to explore new realms of musical expression. The relationship he had with Prince Leopold was more than just employer and employee. It was a partnership based on mutual respect and a shared love for music. Reflecting on Bach's role in Kürten, we see a period of fruitful and unbridled creativity. This chapter in Bach's life story is not just about the music he composed, it's about the artistic freedom he experienced and the supportive environment that allowed his genius to flourish. The Kürten years were instrumental in shaping Bach's later works, contributing significantly to his legacy as one of the greatest composers in the history of music. The Kürten period of Johann Sebastian Bach's life, spanning from 1717 to 1723, was a time when his focus shifted remarkably towards instrumental music, a genre in which he would leave an indelible mark. In the court of Prince Leopold of Anhalt-Köthen, a ruler with a keen interest in music, Bach found the perfect setting to dive deep into the world of instrumental composition. Imagine a composer, already seasoned and skilled, now exploring the vast and vibrant landscape of instrumental music with newfound freedom and enthusiasm. This period in Bach's life is distinguished by the creation of some of his most celebrated instrumental works. Freed from the constraints of composing primarily church music, Bach was able to give his undivided attention to secular instrumental compositions. This shift not only allowed him to experiment with new styles and forms, but also to express his artistic vision more freely and diversely. One of the monumental works from this period is the Brandenburg Concertos. These 6 concertos, each with its unique character and instrumentation, showcase Bach's mastery in blending different musical elements to create something extraordinary. The concertos are a testament to Bach's innovative use of the concerto grosso form, where a small group of soloists plays in contrast with a larger ensemble. Imagine the lively and intricate interplay of instruments in these concertos, a dance of melodies and harmonies that captivate and exhilarate. Another significant set of compositions from the Kürten period are the sonatas and partitas for solo violin. These works, remarkable for their complexity and expressiveness, push the boundaries of what was thought possible on a solo violin. They are not just music pieces. They are profound explorations of the instrument's capabilities, showcasing Bach's deep understanding of the violin's potential. Bach also composed the suites for unaccompanied cello during this time, a collection of works that would become cornerstones of the cello repertoire. These suites, with their rich textures and emotional depth, explore the expressive range of the cello, transforming the instrument into a medium for storytelling. The instrumental music Bach composed in Köthen is characterized by its clarity, inventiveness, and technical brilliance. Each piece, whether a concerto, sonata, or suite, is a world unto itself, full of intricate details and musical surprises. Bach's approach to instrumental composition during this period was not just about showcasing the instrument's capabilities, it was about using them to express complex emotions and ideas. The focus on instrumental music during the Köthen years was a defining period in Bach's career. It allowed him to explore new territories in his musical journey and to express his artistic vision in its purest form. These years were not just a time of composing, they were a time of exploration, innovation, and expression. Looking back at Bach's focus on instrumental music during the Köthen period, we see a composer at the height of his creative powers, using his art to communicate in a language that transcends words. This period of his life was a celebration of the power and beauty of instrumental music, a chapter that played a crucial role in shaping the course of Western music. Chapter 6. Leipzig, a productive era. In 1723, Johann Sebastian Bach entered a new and incredibly productive phase of his life when he moved to Leipzig. This era, lasting until his death in 1750, was marked by an outpouring of musical compositions that would forever etch his name in the annals of musical history. Imagine Bach in Leipzig, now a mature and experienced composer, immersing himself in a whirlwind of musical creation, his mind and hands tirelessly weaving new masterpieces. In Leipzig, Bach took on the role of Thomas Cantor, the music director of the St. Thomas Church, a prestigious and demanding position. This role required him to compose and perform music for the church's services, as well as to teach music at the St. Thomas School. The position, while challenging, provided Bach with a stable platform to compose a vast array of works, particularly in the realm of sacred music. One of the most significant aspects of Bach's work in Leipzig was his composition of cantatas. He wrote over 300 cantatas during his lifetime, with a large number of them composed in Leipzig. These cantatas, written for each Sunday and special church holidays, are a monumental achievement in the world of sacred music. They are not just musical compositions, they are intricate tapestries of theology, music, poetry, and emotion, woven together to create a profound spiritual experience. In addition to cantatas, Bach also composed a number of other significant works during his Leipzig years. Among these were the St. Matthew Passion and the St. John Passion, monumental works that are considered some of the greatest pieces of sacred music ever written. These compositions, with their dramatic portrayal of the Passion of Christ, showcase Bach's ability to blend music, text, and theology into a powerful and moving narrative. Bach's productivity in Leipzig was not limited to sacred music. He also composed a number of secular works, including the Goldberg Variations and the Musical Offering. These works, known for their technical complexity and artistic beauty, further demonstrate Bach's versatility and mastery as a composer. The sheer volume and quality of Bach's compositions during his Leipzig years are a testament to his extraordinary talent and work ethic. Despite the demands of his position and the challenges of his personal life, Bach continued to produce music of the highest caliber, music that has stood the test of time. The Leipzig period was more than just a prolific phase in Bach's career. It was the culmination of his life's work as a composer. The music he composed during this time reflects the depth of his experience, the breadth of his talent, and the maturity of his artistic vision. Reflecting on Bach's prolific composing in Leipzig, we see a master at the peak of his creative powers, relentlessly dedicating himself to his art. This era in Bach's life is not just a story of musical composition. It's a story of artistic triumph, a period where Bach's genius shone brightest, leaving a legacy that would inspire generations to come. The Leipzig period of Johann Sebastian Bach's life, a time of remarkable productivity, was marked by the creation of some of his most significant and enduring works. These compositions not only showcased Bach's mastery of music, but also reflected the depth and breadth of his artistic vision. In Leipzig, Bach's role as Thomas Cantor, although demanding, provided him the canvas to paint his musical legacy, a legacy that continues to awe and inspire. Among Bach's major works from this period is the St. Matthew Passion, a monumental piece of sacred music that is considered one of the pinnacles of Western classical music. Imagine the dramatic and emotional depth of this work, with its intricate interplay of choruses, soloists, and orchestra, telling the story of Christ's Passion with profound expressiveness and musical mastery. The St. Matthew Passion is not just a musical composition. It is a spiritual journey, a work that deeply moves listeners and performers alike. Another significant achievement of this period is the Mass in B minor, one of the supreme achievements in classical music. This Mass, a compilation of music composed over several years, is a testament to Bach's ability to fuse diverse musical elements into a coherent and sublime whole. The Mass in B minor stands as a monumental work in Bach's oeuvre, encapsulating his skill in vocal and choral composition. Bach's time in Leipzig also saw the composition of the Well-Tempered Clavier, a collection of preludes and fugues in all 24 major and minor keys. This work is not only a technical feat, but also a musical revelation, showcasing Bach's innovative approach to the keyboard and his deep understanding of musical structure and harmony. Apart from these large-scale works, Bach also composed numerous cantatas while in Leipzig. These cantatas, written for the weekly church services, are a remarkable body of work, each a unique blend of biblical text, poetry, and music. They reflect Bach's deep religious faith and his genius in setting sacred texts to music. In addition to his compositions, Bach's achievements in Leipzig also include his work as an educator and mentor. He taught at the St. Thomas School, imparting his knowledge and passion for music to the next generation of musicians. His influence as a teacher was profound, shaping the musical education of countless students. Bach's major works and achievements during his Leipzig years are a reflection of his unrelenting dedication to his art. Despite facing personal tragedies and professional challenges, he continued to compose music of extraordinary depth and beauty. Reflecting on this period of Bach's life, we see a composer who not only reached the pinnacle of his artistic abilities, but also left an indelible mark on the world of music. The Leipzig years were the culmination of Bach's lifelong dedication to music, a period that saw the creation of works that would define his legacy and continue to inspire and move people centuries later. The story of Bach's time in Leipzig is not just a story of compositions and achievements. It's a story of a musical genius, leaving an eternal imprint on the tapestry of music history. Chapter 7. Bach's Musical Style. Johann Sebastian. Bach's musical style renowned for its complexity and beauty, is a testament to his unique compositional techniques. His approach to music was not just about creating melodies and harmonies. It was about weaving a rich tapestry of sounds, each thread intricately placed to create a masterpiece. In Bach's compositions, we find a blend of technical mastery and artistic expression that has rarely been matched. One of the hallmarks of Bach's style is his use of counterpoint, a technique where two or more melodic lines are played simultaneously, each maintaining its distinct identity while contributing to a cohesive whole. Imagine the interplay of these lines, like dancers moving in and out of harmony with each other, creating a complex and mesmerizing musical conversation. Bach's ability to craft these intricate polyphonic textures is evident in many of his works, making his music both challenging and rewarding to perform. Bach was also a master of fugue, a form where a theme is introduced by one voice and then taken up by others in succession, each adding its own variation to the theme. His well-tempered clavier, a collection of preludes and fugues, showcases this technique brilliantly. Each fugue in this collection is a world unto itself, demonstrating Bach's skill in developing a single theme into a multifaceted musical journey. Another distinctive aspect of Bach's style is his use of ornamentation, the addition of extra notes and flourishes to embellish the melody. These ornaments are not just decorative, they add depth and emotion to the music, making it more expressive. Bach's use of ornamentation is particularly evident in his works for keyboard, where these embellishments bring the melodies to life, adding a layer of sophistication and elegancy. Bach's compositions often incorporate a variety of musical forms and structures, from the dance-like rhythms of his suites to the grand chorales of his cantatas. He had a deep understanding of these forms and an ability to adapt them to his own musical language. This versatility is a hallmark of his style, allowing him to create music that is both rooted in tradition and boldly innovative. Moreover, Bach's music is known for its mathematical precision and symmetry. He often employed numerical symbolism and carefully structured his compositions to achieve a balance between form and freedom. This precision, however, does not make his music rigid. Instead, it adds a layer of complexity that invites listeners and performers to explore and discover new aspects with each rendition. Bach's unique compositional techniques are not just technical feats. They are expressions of his artistic vision. His music is a blend of intellect and emotion, a conversation between the composer and the listener that transcends time and place. Reflecting on Bach's compositional techniques, we see a musician who was not just creating music. He was redefining what music could be. His techniques, counterpoint, fugue, ornamentation, and the integration of various forms, are the tools with which he sculpted his musical legacy, a legacy that continues to inspire and captivate. The story of Bach's musical style is a story of innovation, mastery, and the eternal pursuit of musical perfection. Johann Sebastian Bach's influence on the development of Baroque music is as profound as it is enduring. In the tapestry of Baroque music, Bach's contributions stand out like bold, intricate patterns that have shaped the course of musical history. His work during the Baroque period, a time characterized by dramatic expression and complex musical forms, was not just a reflection of the era's artistic trends, but also a significant force in driving these trends forward. Bach's music, with its rich textures and intricate harmonies, epitomized the Baroque style. He took the existing forms of his time, such as the concerto, fugue, and cantata, and infused them with a depth and complexity that was unprecedented. His compositions showcased the emotional intensity and ornate aesthetic that were hallmarks of the Baroque era. Yet Bach's work went beyond mere representation of the style. He pushed the boundaries of what was possible in music, elevating the Baroque style to new heights. One of Bach's key contributions to Baroque music was his mastery of counterpoint, the art of weaving together independent melodic lines into a harmonious whole. This technique was central to Baroque music, and Bach's works are considered the pinnacle of counterpoint. His ability to create complex polyphonic textures, where each line of music is both distinct and interwoven, resulted in compositions that were richly layered and emotionally resonant. Bach also contributed to the development of instrumental music during the Baroque period. His compositions for keyboard, violin and cello expanded the technical and expressive capabilities of these instruments. Works like the Brandenburg Concertos and the Goldberg Variations showcased the potential of instruments in creating music that was not just melodious, but also emotionally and intellectually stimulating. Moreover, Bach's influence extended to the sacred music of the time. His cantatas and passions set new standards for how music could be used to enhance religious worship. These works combined biblical texts, poetry, and music to create a deeply spiritual experience. Bach's approach to sacred music was innovative in its integration of complex musical structures with theological themes. Bach's impact on Baroque music was also evident in his role as a teacher and mentor. He influenced a generation of musicians and composers, transmitting his knowledge and passion for music. His sons, who became notable composers themselves, carried forward his musical legacy, ensuring that his influence continued long after his death. Reflecting on Bach's influence on the development of Baroque music, we see a composer whose work was both a culmination of the era's artistic trends and a catalyst for new musical explorations. His compositions embodied the essence of the Baroque style, while also pushing its boundaries, paving the way for future musical developments. Bach's music is not just a part of Baroque music history. It is a cornerstone that has shaped the entire edifice of Western classical music. The story of Bach's influence on Baroque music is a story of transformation and innovation, a testament to his enduring impact on the world of music. It is a narrative that highlights how one artist's vision and creativity can redefine an entire era's artistic expression. Chapter 8. Famous Compositions. The Brandenburg Concertos by Johann Sebastian Bach are not just compositions. They are a musical voyage, a collection of 6 concertos that stand as towering achievements in Baroque music. Composed in 1721, these concertos were dedicated to Christian Ludwig, the Margrave of Brandenburg, hence their name. Picture the grandeur of the Brandenburg court and Bach, with his genius, creating a gift that would immortalize his name in the annals of music history. Each of the 6 concertos is unique, showcasing an astonishing variety of instrumentation and musical innovation. They are like 6 different worlds, each with its own character and mood, yet all unified by Bach's unmistakable style. The Brandenburg Concertos are a showcase of the concerto grosso form, where a small group of soloists, the concertino, dialogues with a larger group, the ripieno. This interplay creates a vibrant musical conversation, full of contrasts and harmonies. The first concerto is grand and festive, with horns adding a regal touch. The second concerto is famous for its demanding trumpet part, a brilliant display of high Baroque artistry. The third concerto is a celebration of strings, with 3 violins, 3 violas, and 3 cellos, weaving an intricate tapestry of sound. The fourth concerto dazzles with the virtuosity of its recorder and violin solos, a lively and spirited piece. The fifth concerto is remarkable for its elaborate harpsichord part, a precursor to the solo piano concerto. Finally, the sixth concerto stands out for its absence of violins, giving prominence to the lower strings for a rich, warm sound. What makes the Brandenburg concertos so special is not just their musical brilliance, but also their technical innovation. Bach experimented with different combinations of instruments, some of which were unusual at the time. He pushed the boundaries of what was traditionally done in concertos, creating works that were both challenging to play and delightful to listen to. The concertos are also a testament to Bach's skill in balancing solo and ensemble passages. He crafts moments where the soloists shine, their individual voices clear and distinct, and then seamlessly blends them back into the ensemble, creating a harmonious whole. This interplay is a dance of sound, a masterful demonstration of musical architecture and expression. The Brandenburg concertos were not just compositions, they were statements of Bach's musical ingenuity and creativity. They were a gift to the Margrave, but more so, a gift to the world, a collection of works that would become pillars of the Western classical music repertoire. Reflecting on the Brandenburg concertos, we see a composer at the height of his powers, a musician who could take the familiar form of the concerto and transform it into something extraordinary. These concertos are not just famous compositions. They are musical landmarks, a testament to Bach's enduring genius and his significant contribution to the world of music. The St. Matthew Passion by Johann Sebastian Bach is not just a composition, it is an epic musical masterpiece, a work of profound emotional depth and technical brilliance. Composed in 1727 for a Good Friday service, this piece is a monumental representation of the Passion of Christ as told in the Gospel of Matthew. Imagine the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig filled with the solemn and reflective mood of Good Friday, and Bach presenting this significant work, a musical narration of the final days of Jesus Christ. The St. Matthew Passion is more than just a piece of sacred music. It is a journey through the last events of Christ's life, told through a rich tapestry of choruses, arias, and recitatives. This work is a dramatic portrayal of the Passion story, a fusion of theology, poetry, and music that engages the listener on both an emotional and intellectual level. One of the most distinctive features of the St. Matthew Passion is its use of double choirs and orchestras, a technique that adds a complex and powerful dimension to the work. The interplay between these choirs and orchestras creates a dialogue that enhances the narrative, providing different perspectives and intensifying the dramatic effect. The use of arias, sung by soloists, adds a personal, introspective element to the story, allowing for moments of reflection and emotional connection. Bach's genius in this composition lies not just in the grandeur of its scale, but also in the intricacy of its details. The St. Matthew Passion is filled with symbolic musical motifs and thematic elements that provide deeper meaning to the text. For instance, the use of specific melodies to represent different characters and themes, such as the motif for Judas, adds a layer of symbolism to the music. The work is also remarkable for its blend of different musical styles. Bach combines the traditional German Passion format with elements of Italian opera and French drama, creating a piece that is both solemn and theatrical. This stylistic fusion makes the St. Matthew Passion a groundbreaking work, pushing the boundaries of what sacred music could be. The significance of the St. Matthew Passion extends beyond its religious context. It is a work that explores universal themes of betrayal, suffering, and redemption, resonating with audiences regardless of their religious beliefs. It is a testament to Bach's ability to convey deep human emotions through music, creating a work that touches the soul. Reflecting on the St. Matthew Passion, we see a composer not just telling a biblical story, but exploring the depths of human experience through music. This work is a landmark in Bach's career, a composition that showcases his mastery of musical narrative and emotional expression. The St. Matthew Passion is not just a significant piece in Bach's oeuvre, it is a monumental work in the history of Western music, a masterpiece that continues to move and inspire listeners centuries after its creation. Chapter 9. Bach's Legacy. Johann Sebastian. Bach's legacy is a tapestry of influence that extends far beyond his lifetime, deeply impacting composers who followed him. His music, characterized by its technical complexity and emotional depth, became a source of inspiration for generations of musicians. Bach's influence can be seen as a river of musical ideas, flowing through time and shaping the course of Western classical music. In the years following Bach's death, his music, initially overshadowed by the works of more contemporary composers, was rediscovered and celebrated for its brilliance. One of the pivotal figures in this revival was Ludwig van Beethoven, a composer whose own work would redefine the boundaries of music. Beethoven, known for his revolutionary compositions, deeply admired Bach's work, particularly his mastery of counterpoint and harmonic complexity. He regarded Bach not just as a predecessor, but as a teacher, learning from his compositions and incorporating Bach's techniques into his own music. The influence of Bach can also be seen in the works of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Mozart, a child prodigy and a composer of extraordinary talent, was exposed to Bach's music in his later years. This encounter left a profound impact on him, influencing his approach to counterpoint and fugue. Mozart's admiration for Bach is evident in his later works, where the complexity and elegance of Bach's style are interwoven with Mozart's own musical language. Another composer who drew inspiration from Bach was Johann Sebastian's own son, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. C.P.E. Bach, an important figure in the transition from the Baroque to the classical era, inherited not just his father's name, but also his musical genius. He built upon his father's foundations, developing a style that bridged the gap between the Baroque and the emerging classical style. Felix Mendelssohn, a composer of the Romantic era, played a key role in the revival of Bach's music in the 19th century. Mendelssohn's performance of the St. Matthew Passion in 1829, almost a century after it was composed, was a landmark event that reintroduced Bach's music to the public and sparked a widespread re-evaluation and appreciation of his work. Bach's influence extends beyond these notable figures. His music has been a cornerstone for many composers, providing a foundation upon which they could build their own musical expressions. His works have been studied, analyzed, and admired by musicians for their structural perfection, their emotional depth, and their sheer beauty. Reflecting on Bach's influence on later composers, we see a legacy that transcends time and genre. Bach's music is not just a collection of notes and melodies. It is a language of creativity and expression that has spoken to and through generations of musicians. His influence is like a continuous melody, playing through the ages, inspiring and shaping the music that followed. The story of Bach's legacy is a story of enduring influence, a testament to the power of his music to inspire, teach, and transform. Johann Sebastian Bach's enduring impact on classical music is a phenomenon that resonates through centuries, a testament to his timeless genius. His compositions, marked by their intricate structures, profound expressiveness, and technical mastery, have not just survived but thrived in the evolving world of music. Bach's legacy is like a grand, ancient tree, its roots deep in the soil of musical history, and its branches spreading far and wide, influencing countless aspects of classical music. Bach's music laid the groundwork for the tonal system that forms the basis of Western classical music. His exploration of harmony and counterpoint set the standards for musical composition, standards that composers have strived to emulate and build upon. The well-tempered clavier, with its preludes and fugues in all major and minor keys, served as a cornerstone for the development of tonal music. It is a work that has been studied and revered by musicians and composers for its architectural perfection and its deep understanding of harmonic progressions. The influence of Bach's music extends beyond its technical aspects. His compositions are imbued with a depth of emotion and a transcendent beauty that continue to move audiences centuries after they were written. His ability to weave complex musical ideas with emotional expression has made his music a source of inspiration for composers and performers alike. The St. Matthew Passion, for example, remains one of the most profound and moving works in the choral repertoire, a work that continues to be performed and cherished for its emotional depth and musical brilliance. Bach's music also plays a crucial role in the education of musicians. His works are considered essential study for students of music, offering lessons in harmony, melody, and rhythm. Through studying Bach's compositions, musicians learn the fundamentals of musical structure and expression, skills that are essential for any classical musician. Bach's music is not just a part of the curriculum, it is a fundamental part of a musician's journey, a rite of passage that deepens their understanding and appreciation of music. Moreover, Bach's music has transcended the realm of classical music, influencing other genres and art forms. His compositions have been adapted and reinterpreted in various settings, from jazz improvisations to modern film scores. This versatility and adaptability speak to the universal appeal of Bach's music, an appeal that transcends time and trends. Reflecting on Bach's enduring impact in classical music, we see a legacy that is both monumental and deeply personal. His music continues to inspire, educate, and move people around the world. Bach's influence is not confined to the past. It is a living, breathing part of the present and future of music. The story of Bach's impact on classical music is a story of enduring relevance, a testament to the timeless beauty and profundity of his work. Bach's legacy in classical music is not just about the notes he wrote, it's about the journey he started, a journey that continues to inspire and shape the world of music. Chapter 10. Bach and Religion. Johann Sebastian Bach's music is deeply intertwined with his religious beliefs, a bond that is both profound and intrinsic to understanding his work. For Bach, music was not just an artistic pursuit, it was a spiritual expression, a means to worship and connect with the divine. His religious convictions were the cornerstone of his musical philosophy, with the phrase, Soli Deo Gloria, glory to God alone, often inscribed on his compositions, reflecting this deep spiritual commitment. Bach lived and worked in an era where the church played a central role in daily life and cultural expression. He spent much of his career employed by the church, composing music for services and religious occasions. This setting provided him with a vast canvas to express his faith through music. The role of religion in Bach's music is evident in the way he infused his compositions with a sense of reverence and devotion, whether it was a grand cantata for a Sunday service or a simple chorale prelude. One of the most striking aspects of Bach's music is how he used it to interpret and illustrate biblical texts and liturgy. His cantatas, for example, are not just musical compositions. They are sermons in sound, exploring and expounding on the scriptural readings for the day. Bach had the unique ability to translate theological concepts into musical language, creating works that were both spiritually uplifting and musically enriching. Bach's religious music, particularly his cantatas and passions, is characterized by a deep emotional resonance and a profound understanding of the human experience in relation to the divine. In works like the St. Matthew Passion and the St. John Passion, Bach combines music, text, and liturgical context to create a powerful narrative of Christ's suffering and redemption. These compositions go beyond mere storytelling. They invite the listener into a contemplative and spiritual journey. Moreover, Bach's use of chorales, hymns sung by the congregation, within his compositions shows his intent to engage the worshippers directly. These chorales, often harmonized with exquisite complexity, are woven into his larger works, creating moments of communal worship and reflection. Bach's religious music is also notable for its structural and symbolic complexity. He often employed numerology and musical symbolism to convey religious themes, adding layers of meaning to his compositions. This intellectual depth demonstrates how Bach saw music as a way to explore and express his faith. Reflecting on the role of religion in Bach's music, we see a composer for whom music and faith were inseparable. His works are not just a collection of notes and rhythms, they are expressions of his spiritual journey, a journey that he shared with his listeners. The story of religion in Bach's music is a story of devotion and artistry, a testament to his belief in the power of music to elevate, inspire, and connect with the divine. Bach's legacy in religious music is not just about the beauty of his compositions, it's about the depth of his faith and the sincerity with which he expressed it through his art. Johann Sebastian Bach's compositions, imbued with deep religious themes, reflect a profound intertwining of his music and his devout Lutheran faith. In his works, Bach explored a wide range of religious themes, from the joys of Christian faith to the depths of human suffering and the hope of redemption. These themes are not just background elements, they are the very soul of his music, giving it a spiritual dimension that transcends time and place. One of the most prominent religious themes in Bach's music is the celebration of God's glory. His cantatas, written for church services, are replete with expressions of praise and adoration. In these works, Bach used music to exalt God, employing majestic choruses, uplifting arias, and elaborate orchestral parts to create a sense of awe and reverence. The opening chorus of the cantata, Ein feste Burg ist unser Gott, a mighty fortress is our God, for example, is a powerful musical affirmation of faith based on the famous hymn by Martin Luther. Another significant theme in Bach's religious music is the portrayal of Christ's passion, the suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Works like the St. Matthew Passion and the St. John Passion are not just musical masterpieces. They are profound meditations on the central events of Christian salvation history. Through these compositions, Bach created a vivid musical narrative that brings the Passion story to life, inviting listeners into a deep reflection on the themes of sacrifice, forgiveness, and redemption. Bach also explored the theme of personal spirituality and the individual's relationship with God. Many of his chorale preludes for organ, for instance, are intimate expressions of faith, musical reflections on the personal journey of belief. These pieces, often based on Lutheran hymns, are contemplative and introspective, inviting both the performer and the listener into a personal space of worship and reflection. The theme of hope and consolation in times of trouble is another recurring element in Bach's music. His cantatas often address the struggles and pains of earthly life, offering music as a source of comfort and assurance. The cantata Ich habe genug, I have enough, for instance, expresses a serene acceptance of death and a hopeful anticipation of eternal life, themes that resonate with the Christian belief in the afterlife. Bach's use of biblical texts and liturgical themes in his music is not just a matter of setting words to music, it is a way of exploring and expressing the depths of Christian doctrine and belief. His music serves as a vehicle for theological reflection, a means of engaging with and interpreting religious texts in a deeply personal and emotionally powerful way. Reflecting on the religious themes in Bach's compositions, we see a tapestry of faith woven into the very fabric of his music. His works are not just collections of religious songs. They are expressions of a life lived in devout faith, a life that sought to understand and articulate the mysteries of the Christian faith through the language of music. The story of religious themes in Bach's music is a story of devotion and artistry, a narrative that continues to inspire and move people across different cultures and eras. Chapter 11. Challenges and Criticisms. Johann Sebastian Bach's journey as a composer and musician was not without its challenges and career obstacles. Despite his immense talent and dedication, Bach faced numerous difficulties throughout his life that tested his resolve and shaped his character. These obstacles were not just bumps in the road. They were significant hurdles that Bach had to overcome to pursue his passion for music. One of the early challenges Bach faced was the loss of his parents at a young age, which not only brought personal grief, but also uncertainty about his future. Being orphaned could have derailed his musical education, but Bach's resilience and determination saw him continue his studies with his elder brother, Johann Christoph Bach. This period of his life was a testament to his unwavering commitment to music, despite the personal tragedy he endured. Another significant obstacle in Bach's career was the often complicated relationship he had with his employers. Bach worked for a variety of patrons, including dukes, princes, and church officials, each with their own expectations and demands. For example, during his tenure in Weimar, Bach's desire to explore new musical directions sometimes clashed with the more conservative tastes of his employers. His bold and innovative musical ideas were not always well received, leading to tensions and, in one instance, even a brief imprisonment for daring to seek employment elsewhere without permission. In Leipzig, where he spent the latter part of his career, Bach faced challenges in managing the responsibilities of his position as Thomas Cantor. He was not only required to compose and perform music, but also to teach and manage the choir and orchestra. The workload was immense, and Bach often found himself in conflict with the town council and school authorities, who did not always appreciate or support his efforts. Financial difficulties also posed challenges for Bach. Despite his position and reputation, he was not always well compensated, and he struggled to provide for his large family. This financial strain was a constant concern for Bach, adding to the pressures of his demanding career. Moreover, Bach's dedication to his musical vision sometimes led to criticism and misunderstanding. His complex and intricate style was not universally appreciated during his lifetime, and some contemporaries found his music too complicated or academic. This lack of widespread recognition, however, did not deter Bach from pursuing his artistic goals. Reflecting on the career obstacles faced by Bach, we see a story of perseverance and resilience. Bach's journey was not an easy one. It was fraught with challenges that would have discouraged a lesser spirit. Yet through all these trials, Bach remained dedicated to his art, driven by a deep love for music and a relentless desire to express himself through it. The story of Bach's career obstacles is a story of triumph over adversity, a narrative that highlights the strength of his character and the unwavering commitment to his craft. Johann Sebastian Bach, though now revered as one of the greatest composers in history, was not immune to criticism during his lifetime and even after. These criticisms, both historical and modern, offer a glimpse into the challenges he faced in gaining recognition and the evolving perceptions of his work over time. In his own era, some of Bach's contemporaries viewed his music as overly complex and intricate. At a time when the musical trend was leaning towards a simpler and more elegant style, as seen in the emerging classical era, Bach's richly textured and harmonically dense compositions were sometimes seen as old-fashioned or overly academic. His preference for complex fugues and counterpoint, though a hallmark of his genius, did not always align with the changing tastes of the time. Another criticism during Bach's lifetime was related to his responsibilities as Thomas Cantor in Leipzig. Some members of the town council thought Bach's music was too elaborate for church services, preferring simpler and more straightforward hymns. This tension between Bach's artistic vision and the expectations of his role often led to disagreements, reflecting a broader struggle between creative expression and institutional norms. In the modern era, while Bach's music is largely celebrated for its complexity and depth, there have been criticisms regarding its accessibility. Some modern listeners and musicians find his compositions daunting due to their structural complexity and technical demands. This view, however, is more a reflection of individual taste and the evolving landscape of classical music, rather than a critique of Bach's inherent musicality. There have also been discussions among musicologists about the interpretive approach to Bach's music. The debate over historically informed performances versus more modern interpretations reflects the challenges in understanding and realizing Bach's intentions. While some argue for strict adherence to period instruments and playing styles, others advocate for a more contemporary approach, believing it makes Bach's music more relevant and accessible to today's audiences. Despite these criticisms, both historical and modern, Bach's music has endured and thrived, influencing generations of composers and musicians. His works are studied and performed worldwide, celebrated for their emotional depth, technical mastery, and timeless beauty. The criticisms he faced have become part of the narrative that underscores the depth and complexity of his work, highlighting the evolving nature of musical appreciation and understanding. Reflecting on the historical and modern criticisms of Bach's work, we see a dynamic interplay between the composer's vision and the perceptions of his audience. These criticisms are not just footnotes in Bach's story. They are part of the rich tapestry of his legacy, offering insights into the challenges of artistic innovation and the subjective nature of musical appreciation. The story of Bach's criticisms is a story of a visionary ahead of his time, whose music transcends epochs and continues to captivate and inspire. Chapter 12. Rediscovery in the 19th Century. The 19th century witnessed a remarkable revival of Johann Sebastian Bach's music, a rediscovery that transformed him from a respected but somewhat forgotten composer to an icon of Western classical music. This resurgence was not a spontaneous event. It was the result of a series of efforts by musicians and scholars who recognized Bach's genius and sought to bring his music back to the public's attention. One of the pivotal figures in this revival was Felix Mendelssohn, a composer and conductor who played a crucial role in reintroducing Bach's music to a broader audience. Mendelssohn, born more than a half-century after Bach's death, grew up in an environment that valued musical heritage. He was exposed to Bach's music at an early age and was deeply impressed by its complexity and beauty. Mendelssohn's interest in Bach led him to organize and conduct a performance of the St. Matthew Passion in Berlin in 1829, the first significant public performance of the work since Bach's death. This event was a watershed moment in the history of Bach's music. The performance, attended by a captivated audience, was a resounding success, sparking a renewed interest in Bach's works. Mendelssohn's efforts demonstrated the enduring power and relevance of Bach's music, which had been neglected for almost a century. The revival of Bach's music was also aided by the work of scholars and musicians who sought to study and publish his compositions. In the early 19th century, much of Bach's music was still unpublished or scattered in various archives. The Bach Gesellschaft, Bach Society, founded in 1850, undertook the monumental task of collecting, editing, and publishing all of Bach's works. This critical scholarly work made Bach's music more accessible to musicians and the public, helping to solidify his reputation as a master composer. This resurgence of interest in Bach's music was part of a broader trend in the 19th century that saw a revival of interest in older music. As Romantic-era composers and audiences sought to explore the roots of their musical traditions, Bach's works were rediscovered as foundational to the Western musical canon. His music, with its depth and intellectual rigor, appealed to the romantic sensibility and was seen as a source of inspiration and learning. The revival of Bach's music in the 19th century was not just a rediscovery of his compositions, it was a reawakening to his genius. This period saw Bach's music performed more frequently in concert halls, studied intensely by musicians and scholars, and, most importantly, appreciated by a growing audience. Reflecting on how Bach's music was revived in the 19th century, we see a story of rediscovery and appreciation, a journey that brought a forgotten genius back into the limelight. This revival was a critical turning point in the history of music, not only reinstating Bach's works into the repertoire, but also reaffirming their timeless beauty and significance. The story of the revival of Bach's music is a testament to the enduring power of art to transcend time and resonate across generations. Felix Mendelssohn's role in the resurgence of Johann Sebastian Bach's music in the 19th century is a key chapter in the story of classical music's revival and appreciation. Mendelssohn, a prodigious composer and conductor himself, became an ardent advocate of Bach's works, playing a crucial part in reintroducing Bach's genius to a new generation of listeners and musicians. His efforts marked the beginning of a renewed interest in Bach, turning the tide for the legacy of a composer who had been largely overlooked since his death. Mendelssohn's fascination with Bach's music began in his youth. Raised in a family that deeply valued the arts, he was exposed to a wide range of musical works, including those of Bach. This early exposure left a profound impression on Mendelssohn, instilling in him a deep appreciation for Bach's compositions. His interest in Bach was more than just admiration. It was a profound connection to the music that he felt needed to be shared with the wider world. The most significant moment in Mendelssohn's campaign to revive Bach's music came in 1829 with his landmark performance of the St. Matthew Passion. This performance, which Mendelssohn conducted in Berlin, was the first public performance of the piece since Bach's death almost a century earlier. The event was a revelation to the audience, many of whom were hearing Bach's music for the first time. Mendelssohn's interpretation of the St. Matthew Passion brought out the emotional depth and complexity of Bach's music, showcasing its relevance and power even in a new era. Mendelssohn's efforts went beyond this single performance. He became a vocal proponent of Bach's music, advocating for its performance and study. He played a key role in bringing Bach's other works, including his cantatas, organ music, and instrumental compositions, back into the concert repertoire. His enthusiasm and advocacy for Bach's music inspired other musicians and composers to explore and perform Bach's works, leading to a broader renaissance of interest in Baroque music. Mendelssohn's role in the resurgence of Bach's music was also a reflection of the changing musical landscape of the 19th century. As the Romantic era unfolded, there was a growing interest in the music of the past, a search for roots and inspiration in the works of earlier masters. Mendelssohn's revival of Bach's music fit perfectly into this cultural movement, providing a link between the Baroque tradition and the Romantic sensibility. Reflecting on Mendelssohn's role in the resurgence of Bach's music, we see a story of artistic rediscovery and advocacy. Mendelssohn's efforts to reintroduce Bach's works were not just acts of musical revival, they were acts of cultural restoration, bringing to light the works of a composer who had been shadowed by time. The story of Mendelssohn's role in Bach's resurgence is a testament to the power of one artist's passion to revive the legacy of another, a narrative that underscores the enduring impact of Bach's music and its perpetual relevance in the world of classical music. Chapter 13. Bach in Modern Culture. In today's world, Johann Sebastian Bach's music continues to resonate, transcending time and cultural boundaries to maintain a vital presence in modern culture. His compositions, once confined to the courts and churches of 18th-century Germany, now find a global audience, appealing to a diverse array of listeners and influencing a wide range of musical genres. Bach's music has a unique place in contemporary society, bridging the gap between the historical and the modern. His works are regularly performed in concert halls around the world, where audiences are captivated by the timeless beauty and complexity of his compositions. From the grandeur of the Brandenburg concertos to the introspective depth of the well-tempered clavier, Bach's music continues to be a staple of classical repertoire, revered for its technical brilliance and emotional depth. The influence of Bach's music extends far beyond classical concert venues. His compositions have found their way into popular culture, appearing in movies, television shows, and advertisements. These appearances not only demonstrate the versatility and adaptability of Bach's music, but also introduce it to new audiences, many of whom might not otherwise engage with classical music. Bach's music has also had a significant impact on modern musicians and composers across various genres. Jazz musicians in particular have been drawn to Bach's intricate melodies and harmonies, finding in them a kinship with the improvisational nature of jazz. Artists like Jacques Lussier and the Swingle Singers have created jazz interpretations of Bach's works, blending Baroque intricacy with jazz rhythm and spontaneity. In the realm of education, Bach's music continues to be a vital tool for teaching, music theory, and performance. His compositions are often used to train students in counterpoint and harmony, providing a foundation for understanding the structural elements of music. For many aspiring musicians, studying Bach's works is a rite of passage, a crucial part of their musical development. The digital age has also played a role in keeping Bach's music alive and accessible. Online platforms and streaming services have made it easier than ever to discover and enjoy Bach's compositions. From historic recordings to contemporary performances, listeners can explore the vast array of Bach's works at the click of a button. Reflecting on Bach's music in today's world, we see a legacy that continues to thrive and evolve. His music, once the domain of a select few, now reaches a global audience, cutting across cultural and generational lines. The story of Bach's music in modern culture is a story of enduring relevance, a narrative that speaks to the universal appeal of his artistry. Bach's music, with its timeless beauty and profound depth, remains a source of inspiration and enjoyment, a testament to the lasting impact of his genius in the ever-changing landscape of the modern world. Contemporary interpretations of Johann Sebastian Bach's music highlight the timeless and adaptive nature of his compositions, showing how they continue to inspire and resonate with modern artists and audiences. In the world of today, where musical boundaries are constantly being redefined, Bach's works are not just preserved as historical pieces. They are reimagined and reinterpreted, breathing new life into his timeless melodies. One of the most fascinating aspects of contemporary interpretations of Bach's music is the variety of forms it takes. Classical musicians and conductors continue to explore new ways of performing Bach's works, often combining historical performance practices with modern sensibilities. This fusion approach brings a freshness to Bach's music, making it more accessible and relatable to today's audience, while maintaining its original spirit and integrity. In the realm of popular music, Bach's influence is unmistakably present. Modern musicians across genres, from rock to electronic, have drawn inspiration from Bach's melodies and harmonies. His music has been sampled in hip-hop tracks, reworked into ambient music, and used as the basis for progressive rock compositions. These adaptations showcase the versatility of Bach's music and its ability to transcend musical genres. The world of film and media has also embraced Bach's compositions, using them to enhance the emotional and narrative impact of visual storytelling. His music has been featured in countless films, television shows, and commercials, often used to create a specific mood or atmosphere. The power of Bach's music to evoke emotion and convey depth adds a timeless quality to the visual experiences it accompanies. Dance and ballet have seen innovative interpretations of Bach's music as well. Choreographers have used his compositions as the foundation for modern dance performances, interpreting the music's intricate patterns and rhythms through movement. These performances offer a visual and physical expression of Bach's music, bringing a new dimension to his compositions. The digital and internet age has further broadened the scope of Bach's influence. Online platforms have given rise to a community of musicians and enthusiasts who share their interpretations of Bach's works, ranging from traditional renditions to experimental remixes. This digital sharing and collaboration have introduced Bach's music to a new generation of listeners, encouraging ongoing exploration and reinterpretation. Reflecting on contemporary interpretations of Bach's music, we see a vibrant and ever-evolving landscape. Bach's compositions, while deeply rooted in the Baroque tradition, possess a universality and adaptability that continues to inspire and captivate. The story of these contemporary interpretations is a testament to the enduring power and relevance of Bach's music, a narrative that shows how art can transcend time and continually find new expressions. Bach's legacy, through these modern reinterpretations, remains a living, breathing part of our cultural fabric, continually reinvented and rediscovered by each new generation. Chapter 14. Exploring Bach's World. Exploring the places related to Johann Sebastian Bach offers a fascinating journey through the landscapes that shaped and influenced his life and work. Each location connected to Bach tells a story, offering insights into the world he lived in and the experiences that molded his musical genius. From his birthplace to the cities where he created his masterpieces, these places form an integral part of the Bach narrative, a tangible connection to the life of one of history's greatest composers. Bach's journey begins in Eisenach, a town in central Germany, where he was born in 1685. Today, Eisenach is home to the Bach House, a museum dedicated to his life and work. This historic house, believed to be Bach's birthplace, offers visitors a glimpse into his early life. It houses a collection of period instruments, manuscripts, and exhibits that paint a vivid picture of Bach's formative years and the musical environment that surrounded him. Another significant place in Bach's life is Ocherdruf, where he moved after the death of his parents. In Ocherdruf, Bach lived with his brother and received his early musical education. This period was crucial in shaping his musical foundations. Though less prominent than other Bach sites, Ocherdruf holds an important place in his story, representing a period of learning and growth. Leipzig is perhaps one of the most significant cities in Bach's life. He spent the last 27 years of his life here, serving as the cantor of the St. Thomas Church and the director of its choir. Today, the St. Thomas Church is a pilgrimage site for Bach enthusiasts. It is not just a place of historical significance, it is a living monument to his legacy, where his music continues to be performed and celebrated. In Weimar, where Bach spent a productive period composing and performing, visitors can explore places where he worked, including the court, where he served as a concertmaster and organist. This city played a crucial role in his development as a composer, and its rich cultural heritage is still evident today. Köthen, another key location in Bach's life, is where he composed some of his most famous secular works, including the Brandenburg Concertos. The Köthen Castle, where Bach worked, is a place of interest for those looking to understand this period of his life. Lastly, Arnstadt and Mühlhausen are towns where Bach held early positions and where he started to develop his unique style. These places, though less visited than others, are crucial chapters in the Bach story, representing the beginnings of his journey as a composer and organist. Exploring these places related to Bach is not just a journey through physical locations, it is a journey through the chapters of his life. Each site offers a unique perspective on Bach's world, allowing visitors to connect with his history and legacy in a profound and personal way. The story of the places related to Bach is a story of inspiration and discovery, a narrative that brings us closer to understanding the man behind the music and the environments that shaped his extraordinary contributions to the world of classical music. The world of Johann Sebastian Bach is not just anchored in the past. It is celebrated and brought to life through a variety of Bach-related events and sites that continue to honor his legacy. From festivals dedicated to his music to landmarks preserving his memory, these events and sites offer a rich tapestry of experiences for those looking to immerse themselves in the world of Bach. One of the most prominent celebrations of Bach's legacy is the annual Bach Festival held in Leipzig, the city where Bach spent the latter part of his life and career. This festival is a major event in the classical music calendar, attracting Bach enthusiasts from around the world. Concerts and performances during the festival feature Bach's works, played by renowned musicians and orchestras in historic venues, including the St. Thomas Church and the Gewandhaus, Leipzig's famous concert hall. The festival is not just a series of concerts, it is a cultural event that celebrates Bach's enduring impact on music and brings together people united by their love for his compositions. Another significant site is the Bach Archive in Leipzig, an institution dedicated to the research and preservation of Bach's music and legacy. This archive houses an extensive collection of documents, manuscripts, and artifacts related to Bach's life and work. It serves as a vital resource for scholars and musicians, offering insights into Bach's compositional processes and historical context. The city of Eisenach, where Bach was born, is home to the Bach House, now a museum dedicated to his life and work. This museum offers an interactive experience, with exhibitions that include period instruments, original documents, and audio-visual presentations that bring Bach's world to life. The Bach House also hosts regular concerts and events, providing a unique setting to experience Bach's music where his journey began. In addition to these permanent sites and institutions, there are numerous Bach-themed tours and walks, particularly in cities where Bach lived and worked. These tours take visitors to key locations in Bach's life, such as his homes, schools, and churches where he played and composed. Walking in Bach's footsteps, visitors can gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of his life and the environment that influenced his music. Furthermore, Bach's music and life are often featured in educational programs and workshops. These programs, designed for both children and adults, aim to introduce Bach's music to new audiences and provide a deeper understanding of his compositions and their historical context. Reflecting on the Bach-related events and sites, we see a vibrant and dynamic celebration of a composer whose music has transcended time. These events and sites are not just about preserving the past. They are about keeping Bach's legacy alive and relevant in the modern world. They offer an opportunity to connect with his music, explore his life, and celebrate his enduring impact on the world of classical music. The story of these events and sites is a story of homage and appreciation, a testament to the lasting influence of Johann Sebastian Bach and his timeless compositions. Chapter 15. Bach's influence on learning. Sebastian Bach's impact on music education is profound and far-reaching, transcending his era to influence how music is taught and learned even in modern times. His compositions and techniques have become foundational elements in the education of musicians, shaping the way music is understood, appreciated, and performed. Bach's music is not just a subject of study, it is a tool for developing musical skills and a deep understanding of musical artistry. In the realm of music education, Bach's works are often used as essential study material for students learning a wide range of instruments, from piano and violin to organ and voice. His compositions, known for their technical demands and intricate structure, serve as excellent resources for developing technical proficiency and musical expressiveness. For example, the well-tempered clavier is considered a pivotal learning tool for pianists, offering a comprehensive exploration of keyboard techniques and harmonic knowledge. Bach's music also plays a crucial role in teaching the art of counterpoint, a fundamental aspect of musical composition. His fugues and canons are studied for their masterful use of counterpoint, providing students with clear examples of how independent melodic lines can be interwoven to create complex and harmonious textures. Learning counterpoint through Bach's music is not just an exercise in technique. It is an immersion into the depths of musical creativity and expression. For vocalists and choral musicians, Bach's cantatas and passions are invaluable resources. These works offer lessons in vocal technique, phrasing, and expression, as well as insights into the historical and liturgical context of the music. Singing Bach's music requires not only technical skill, but also an understanding of the emotional and spiritual dimensions of the compositions. Beyond the technical and performance aspects, studying Bach's music provides insights into the historical and theoretical foundations of Western classical music. His compositions are a gateway to understanding the Baroque era, its styles, forms, and aesthetic principles. Learning about Bach's music is learning about the evolution of music itself, tracing the developments in harmony, rhythm, and musical form that have shaped the classical tradition. Bach's influence on music education is also evident in the way his music inspires creativity and a deeper appreciation for the art form. His works challenge students to think critically, listen attentively, and engage with music on a profound level. The study of Bach's music is not just an academic pursuit. It is an exploration of the possibilities of musical expression and the pursuit of artistic excellence. Reflecting on Bach's impact on music education, we see a legacy that extends beyond his compositions. His influence is woven into the fabric of musical learning, shaping how music is taught, understood, and appreciated. Bach's music is a cornerstone of music education, a bridge connecting past and present, and a source of inspiration for generations of musicians. The story of Bach's influence on learning is a story of enduring educational and artistic significance, highlighting the timeless relevance of his work in the journey of musical discovery. Johann Sebastian Bach's influence on modern musicians extends far beyond historical appreciation. His work offers valuable lessons that remain relevant in today's diverse and rapidly evolving musical landscape. For contemporary musicians, Bach's compositions and techniques provide a wealth of knowledge and inspiration, offering insights into musicality, creativity, and craftsmanship. One of the key lessons Bach imparts to modern musicians is the importance of technical mastery and precision. His music, with its complex polyphony and intricate counterpoint, demands a high level of skill and a deep understanding of musical structure. Practicing Bach's compositions challenges musicians to refine their technique and develop a keen attention to detail, qualities that are essential for any successful musician. Bach also teaches the art of balance and clarity in music. His ability to weave multiple melodic lines into a cohesive and harmonious whole is a lesson in how to manage complexity within a musical framework. For modern musicians, understanding this balance is crucial, whether they are composing, arranging, or performing. Bach's work demonstrates how to combine individual elements, melody, harmony, rhythm, into a unified and compelling musical statement. Another lesson from Bach's music is the exploration of emotional depth and expressiveness. Despite the technical rigor of his compositions, Bach's music is profoundly expressive, capable of conveying a wide range of emotions from joy and exuberance to sorrow and contemplation. His works encourage musicians to look beyond technical proficiency to the expressive possibilities of music, to communicate and evoke emotions through their performances. Bach's compositions also offer a lesson in the value of structure and form in music. His works, from fugues and concertos to cantatas and suites, are examples of meticulous musical architecture. Understanding Bach's approach to form, how he develops themes, builds tension, and creates resolution, is invaluable for musicians looking to deepen their compositional and analytical skills. Furthermore, Bach's music provides insights into the historical and cultural context of the Baroque period, offering modern musicians a deeper appreciation of the evolution of Western classical music. His works serve as a bridge to the past, connecting contemporary musicians to the traditions and innovations that have shaped the musical landscape over the centuries. For composers and arrangers, Bach's music is a wellspring of inspiration. His inventive harmonies, innovative use of counterpoint, and the melodic beauty of his compositions offer a wealth of ideas and techniques to be explored and adapted in new musical contexts. Reflecting on the lessons for modern musicians found in Bach's music, we see a timeless source of artistic guidance and inspiration. Bach's legacy is not confined to his era. It continues to influence and inform the work of musicians across genres and styles. The story of Bach's influence on learning is a narrative of enduring relevance, a testament to his lasting impact on the craft of music making and the ongoing journey of musical exploration and discovery. Chapter 16. The Timeless Maestro. Johann Sebastian Bach, a name synonymous with musical genius, stands as the timeless maestro whose contributions to music echo through the centuries. His legacy is a rich tapestry of compositions, innovations, and teachings that have profoundly influenced the world of classical music and beyond. Bach's work is not just a collection of compositions, it is a monumental testament to his extraordinary talent, intellectual depth, and artistic vision. Bach's contributions to music are vast and varied. He was a master of counterpoint and fugue, techniques he elevated to new heights with his intricate and expressive compositions. Works like the Well-Tempered Clavier and the Art of Fugue are not just technical achievements, They are artistic explorations of form and harmony that continue to challenge and inspire musicians today. His cantatas and passions, with their dramatic interplay of chorus, soloists and orchestra, are masterpieces of sacred music, blending theological depth with emotional power. The St. Matthew Passion and the St. John Passion are landmark works in the choral repertoire, revered for their profound storytelling and musical richness. Bach also made significant contributions to instrumental music. His Brandenburg concertos, suites, and sonatas and partitas for solo violin are celebrated for their vibrant melodies, complex structures, and innovative use of instruments. These works expanded the possibilities of instrumental music, showcasing Bach's creative versatility and technical mastery. In addition to his compositions, Bach's influence extends to music education and theory. His music is foundational in the training of musicians, offering lessons in counterpoint, harmony, and performance practice. Bach's works are a staple in music curricula around the world, shaping the development of countless musicians. Moreover, Bach's music transcends the boundaries of the Baroque period, resonating with audiences and musicians across generations. His ability to combine technical precision with emotional expressiveness makes his music timeless, relevant, and accessible even in the modern era. Reflecting on Bach's contributions, we see a legacy that is vast and enduring. His music is not just a chapter in the history of classical music. It is a continuing narrative of artistic excellence and innovation. Bach's influence is felt not only in the realm of classical music, but also in jazz, pop, and other genres, where his compositions continue to inspire new interpretations and adaptations. The story of Bach's contributions is a story of a maestro whose music transcends time and place, a story of a composer whose work continues to captivate, inspire, and educate. Johann Sebastian Bach, the timeless maestro, remains a towering figure in the world of music, his contributions forming the cornerstone of the classical tradition and continuing to shape the landscape of music in profound and lasting ways. Johann Sebastian Bach's eternal place in the world of music is not just as a historical figure of the Baroque era, but as a timeless maestro whose influence permeates the very essence of musical expression and understanding. His works and teachings have transcended the bounds of time and culture, securing him an indelible position in the pantheon of great composers. His music, rich in complexity and beauty, continues to resonate with musicians and audiences alike, a testament to its enduring relevance and universal appeal. Bach's music has achieved a near-mythical status, revered for its technical mastery, emotional depth, and intellectual rigor. His compositions, spanning from intricate fugues and preludes to majestic cantatas and concertos, are cornerstones of the classical repertoire, performed and admired worldwide. His ability to infuse complex musical structures with profound expressiveness has made his works timeless classics, as relevant and awe-inspiring today as they were in the 18th century. In the modern world, Bach's influence extends beyond the realm of classical music. His work has inspired artists across various genres, from jazz to pop, to explore and integrate his complex harmonies and melodic structures into their compositions. The adaptability of his music to different styles and contexts speaks to its universal quality and its ability to transcend traditional musical boundaries. Bach's impact on music education and theory is equally profound. His compositions are essential tools in teaching the fundamentals of music, offering invaluable lessons in harmony, counterpoint, and composition. Musicians around the world continue to study and analyze his works, finding in them an endless source of inspiration and learning. Bach's music challenges and enriches those who engage with it, serving as a bridge between the past and present in the journey of musical discovery. Furthermore, Bach's music has a unique ability to connect with listeners on a deep emotional level. His compositions, whether a somber or lively concerto, have the power to move, inspire, and provoke, transcending language barriers. Emotional resonance ensures that his music remains relevant and accessible to a wide audience, from classical connoisseurs to casual listeners. Reflect on Bach's eternal place in the world of music. We see a legacy that is both monumental and intimate. He is not just a figure from the past, but a living in the world of music, continuing and moving